Hello, everybody, and welcome to the IHI Call Days, Call 5, Topic 2. My name is Sara, and I will be moderating the webinar today. Before we start, let me remind you a couple of information. All information regarding future IHI Call topics is indicative and subject to change. Final information about future IHI calls will be communicated after approval by the IHI Governing Board. Also, this session is being recorded, and both the recording and the presentation slides will be published on the IHI website and on B2Match platform. If during this session you want to ask some questions, please click on the Join the Discussion button at the right corner at the bottom of your screen, and your question will be answered at the end of the presentation. Today, I am accompanied by my colleague Usama, Scientific Project Officer at IHI, that will guide you through the webinar topic. Usama, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And I would like also to welcome you to this webinar on the Call 5, IHI Call 5, Topic 2 on Theranostics. So just to remind you that in today's webinar, we will not cover the rules, procedures, and also the financial parts on how to complete the financial parts of your proposals, because these items will be covered by two other webinars. One on the rules of procedure, which was held yesterday, and for which you already have the recording online. So I really encourage you to watch it. And the other one on the financial parts, which will be held this Thursday, but I will come back to this point later. So today's webinar, we will start with an introduction on the IHI program, and then we'll go straight to the IHI call topic 2 with the specificities of the call topic. And then I will finish with giving some tips for the preparation of your proposal. And after this webinar, we will have some pitches, participant pitches for after the webinar. So first of all, what is IHI, or the Innovative Health Initiative? It's a public-private partnership between the European Union, which is represented by the European Commission, and different healthcare industry associations, namely COSIR, working on medical imaging, radiotherapy, but also FPR, including Vaccines Europe, which represent the pharmaceutical and vaccines industry, Europabio, involved in the biotechnology industry, and MedTech Europe, representing the medical technology industry. Oh, sorry. Okay, so what's our IHI's general objectives? So we aim at funding cross-sectoral pre-competitive collaborative projects to turn health research and innovation into real benefits for patients and society by delivering safe and effective health innovation that cover the entire spectrum of care. When we say the entire spectrum of care, we mean from prevention to diagnosis and also treatment, and especially in areas where there is an unmet public health need. The third goal is also to make Europe's health industry globally more competitive. If you want more information about our general objectives, about our strategic research and innovation agenda, there is a link on this slide, and the presentation will also be made available in our website so that you can consult our scientific research and innovation agenda. So now what about our funding models? So as a public-private partnership, IHI projects are funded by two different sources, to say so. The EU cash contribution, which primarily supports entities which are eligible to receive funding, mainly university, research organizations, patients organizations, but also SMEs. And also the other source of contribution comes from the IHI Industry Association and contributing partners, because the particularity of the IHI program is that the project participants must provide at least 45% of total project eligible costs. For instance, it could be this in-kind contribution, the time of their researchers working on the project. It's just an example. It could be also access to laboratories, data, compounds, which are also other examples. So now, how does it work? So we are here in a single stage procedure, meaning that we start first with the call launch. As said by my colleague Sarah, the topic text for the time being is an indicative topic text, meaning that it's subject to change until the call is launched. The call indicative timelines for the call launch is end of July. And once the call will be launched, we'll have access to the final authorized version of the topic text that you should use by forming a consortium of different legal entities, of different partners, such as academics, SMEs, regulators, if relevant, patient organizations, healthcare professionals, but also private members of the IHI industry associations and possibly contributing partners. These consortia will form, and each consortium will have to write a proposal that have to address the topic text requirements. And following, so this proposal will have to be submitted to the IHI office within the deadline that will be communicated in due time. And once the deadline has passed, the IHI office will organize a competitive evaluation, meaning that we will have a panel of independent experts which will review, assess, evaluate all the proposals that have been submitted, and the panel of experts will rank the proposals, and only the highest ranked proposals will be funded. The number of proposals that will be funded will depend on the available budget. And then we will go to the phase where the project will be launched. So now going straight to the topic itself. So the topic is entitled Development and Proof of Principle of New Clinical Applications of Theranostics Solutions. So you know already the challenge is that Theranostics solutions, which is currently dominated by radionuclide-based therapy and companion diagnostics, are emerging as safe, personalized, and effective approaches for the treatment of several diseases, and mostly also in cancer indications. However, the use of such therapy modalities and therapies is limited. It's limited to a few specialized centers with the need. So there is a need to increase the clinical treatment capacities, but it's also limited in terms of the arsenal of theranostics which are available for patients. And also, as you know, these theranostics solutions are highly technical, and they require a highly multidisciplinary teams of specialists with a specific knowledge and expertise for the clinical application and integration in the patient treatment workflow of these modalities. Hence, a cross-sectoral collaboration is really necessary here for the clinical deployments of theranostic solutions involving academics, healthcare professionals, the health industry sectors, but also regulators, patients. That's why we need here this public-private partnership. So now, what about the scope of the topic? So first of all, the applicants should identify a disease or diseases of unmet public health needs, and they should also explain their choice with relevant evidence whenever possible. So this means that the scope of the topic is not limited to a specific area. It could be any diseases of unmet public health needs. And all the following objectives should be addressed, which are listed here on the slide. First of them is, of course, to develop innovative multimodal theranostic solutions, which includes radiopharmaceutical, but not only, because it can also be non-radioactive theranostic solutions. And the applicant should consider conducting proof of concept clinical trials. The second objective is to develop tools for the quantification of the chosen disease or diseases through the development of novel modalities for planning and monitoring of patient care. The third objective here is to facilitate the development of tools to increase European theranostics manufacturing capacities capabilities, and treatment capacities. Another goal is also to develop education and training materials on the deployment of multimodal theranostic solutions and how to integrate them in clinical settings. And lastly, an important point, to also consider the potential regulatory impact of the results, and as relevant, to develop a plan for generating appropriate evidence, and also on how to engage with regulators. So now, what about the expected outcome? So applicants should at least address 3 of the following expected outcomes, which for the first is the patients that should benefit from an increased treatment efficacy, reduction of time to treat, but also fewer side effects, and also a reduced duration of hospitalization. For the healthcare professionals, they should benefit from education, training on theranostics treatments approaches, including recommendations and clinical guidelines on the most appropriate use of these modalities. The European healthcare system should benefit from a broader spectrum of theranostic treatments, as we said earlier, because the limitations is in terms of the arsenal of these theranostics is really limited, and an improved cost effectiveness and affordability of theranostic solutions. Technology developers, healthcare professionals, and patients should benefit also from increased information on the sensitivity, the quantification, the stratification, and the staging of diseases. So now the expected impact, which are long-term, if I may say so, expected outcomes, is to improve the availability of effective treatments for patients based on these theranostic solutions, to get a stronger resilience and improved strategic autonomy of Europe's health system, but also depending on the disease area of the application, and in the case of the disease chosen would be cancer, to contribute to the objectives of the Europe's Beating Cancer Plan and the Europe Mission on Cancer. So one important aspect that should not be neglected is the dissemination, exploitation, and communication. So please make sure that you reserve a budget for effective dissemination, exploitation, and communication, and describe this, the dissemination, exploitation, and communication measures that are planned, and the target groups that are addressed, and in particular encourage the uptake of the results of the project through a strong communication and outreach plan, but also to allocate appropriate resources to explore synergies with other initiatives or projects, and whenever applicable, and this will be mentioned in the call topic text, you should also include, when applicable, elements in line with availability, accessibility, and affordability provisions, which what we call the 3A. So now one important aspect, of course, is the budget. So the total available IHI financial contribution for this topic is 25 million euros. Please refer to the final version of the call topic text to make sure that this figure has not changed when the call will be launched. But for the time being, it's 25 million euros. And we at IHI estimate that for one proposal to address the objectives and the outcomes as described in the topic text, an appropriate amount of funding should be 10 to 12 million euros. However, this does not preclude you to submit a proposal with different amounts. So here I'm just giving an example. Let's assume there is a proposal which is requesting 12 million IHI financial contribution. It means that within this consortium submitting the proposals, there should be a contribution coming from the industry members or the contributing partners, which contributes to 12 million euros. We have here made a 50-50% share, just to simplify the example, but you should know, as written at the bottom of the slide, that at least 45% of the project budget must be covered by the contribution from project participants. In this case, to make it simpler, we've chosen 50-50, which makes a project total budget of 24 million euros. So what I've just said is here translated into a table to make it maybe clearer. And if you want to have much more details on how to prepare the financial part of the proposal, please attend the webinar, which will be held this Thursday, 29th of June. You have here the link to register, but you can also go straight to our website. You will easily find the link. If you want to register to listen to the presentation, but also it will give you the opportunity to ask questions, financial questions to the presenter. The webinar will also be recorded and will be available online. So now we speak about the proposal submission and the evaluation itself. So here you will find in our website the proposal template with the part A, the part B, and the annexes. So the part A is the administrative and researcher data that will be entered in online in web forms. The part B is the narrative part that includes 3 sections, the first being excellence, the second being impact, and the third one is quality and efficiency of the implementation. These 3 sections are the same as the evaluation criteria. So please read carefully the instructions which are provided in the proposal template if you want to maximize the chance of putting together a successful proposal. With regard to the annexes, there are several annexes that needs to be provided, which are the participant type, the budget details, the coordinator declaration, if relevant, the in-kind additional activities. And for this specific point, I really encourage you also to watch the webinars on rules and procedures, but also on the financial parts. And the last annex here is the clinical studies template. This is also mandatory as the other ones. And if you have clinical studies, you will have to complete the clinical studies template, which provides more information about the clinical studies you're planning to conduct within your proposal. But if there is no clinical studies included in the proposals, please upload a statement to confirm that no clinical studies is foreseen. So in this slide, and you have access to this information also in our website, these are the evaluation criteria and the sub-criteria that we have under each criteria. For instance, here under excellence, you have 2 sub-criteria. The first one being clarity and pertinence of the project's objectives. The second one being soundness of the proposed methodology. I'm not going to go through into details, but I wanted to show you these evaluation criteria because they are really key. You really need to make sure that when writing your proposal, using the topic text requirements, that you clearly address all the points also in relation to this evaluation criteria, because these are the criteria that will be used by the panel of independent experts to assess your proposal. So now moving to a few tips for preparing your application. I cannot stress this enough, but please read all the core relevant material, especially the topic text. And as I said earlier, the final authorized topic text will be available online around end of July at call launch, but you already have the indicative topic text, which is online. Please make sure, and it's really important, that you watch the rules and procedure webinar, which is already online. And please also attend the webinar, which is scheduled this Thursday on preparing the financial part of the proposal. No worries if you cannot attend Thursday's webinar. This will also be recorded and will be put online. So form your consortium as early as possible. And that's why we have today this webinar, and we have published an indicative topic text. It's to allow you to start preparing, to start working on your on your consortium, on building your consortium. Always, when doing so, please always think public-private partnership. This is the particularity of the IHI program. And make sure to include partners bringing in-kind contribution, because this is requirements. Without having at least 45% of the project budget as a contribution from participants of the project, your proposal will not be evaluated. Please ensure that all the information requested in the call text and the proposal template is provided in order to allow the evaluation experts to easily assess your proposal against the evaluation criteria, and also to maximize your chance of putting together a successful proposal. Last but not least, please consider and plan for a potential regulatory impact of the results. So some key points, and I'm sorry to repeat myself again, read the call text very carefully. And when I mean the call text, is the final call text especially. Follow all the guidance in the proposal template, and also please reserve dedicated funding for communication and sustainability. So we know that finding consortium partners could be challenging, and so being proactive, of course, help. Start working now is also key. But we have also here, we are providing also here a few means, a few ways for you to facilitate this task. So to build your consortium, to join a consortium, the first advice we want to give you is to use your own network, your own contacts. You can also use the IHI Call Days participants. You have the link here. You can use the EU Funding and Tenders Portal Partner Search tool. You can get in touch with your IHI national contact points, or you can also network on social media. You have all the useful links on these slides, and as I said, the presentation will be made available online. So these are the pitching session that will follow after this presentation, and I mean, there will be first a Q&A session when you will have the opportunity to ask any questions you may have. And after that, we will go straight to the pitching session. And I would like to thank you for your attention. And I will now hand over to my colleague, Sarah.
Thank you, Sama, for your detailed and insightful presentation. Before going to the Q&A, let me remind you that if you want to book meetings via the platform, you can do it in 4 easy steps. First of all, go to your profile and make yourself available. Then look for partner or on the participants or the organization tab. Select the time, day, data, and attendees. You can select up to 8 per meeting, and add message. And then you can send a meeting request and waiting for the reply. If you need more assistance and a step-by-step guide, you can also click on this link, and you can find all the information. So we now open the floor for Q&A. So if you want to ask questions, please use the chat box. And while you take your time to type in the questions, let me remind you also that if you're interested in the other topics of the call 5, you are still on time to join the sessions that are happening this week. So tomorrow we are having a session on stroke management, and on Thursday we are having a session on synthetic data generation and the famous financial part of the proposal. So please join, please register to these sessions. You are still on time, so you can do it via the platform. Also, if you want to, if you are interested in all the project ideas that are already compiled on the platform, and if you want to look for a partnership, you can do it on the marketplace. So also in the B2 Match, you just go on the marketplace in the menu of the platform, just to select a project cooperation and select the topic that you're interested to, and you will have a lot of project ideas and that you can consult or can join for a potential partnership. So and with with all that, we are passing to the questions. So I'm going to read out the questions. So we have a first question from Magali. She asked, does that mean that there will be a 2 project funded within the 25 million euros? I think it's about the budget.
So yeah, it will all depends on the budget, the IHI funding that will be requested by the highest ranked proposals. Meaning that let's assume that the first highest ranked proposal is requesting 12 million euros, and the second highest ranked proposal is requesting, I don't know, 12 or 13 or even 10 million euros. It means that the 25 million euros will be consumed, and that we will only be able to fund 2 proposals. If this is, if the first highest ranked proposal is requesting 7, and then the second 7, and the second 7, it will be 3. I mean, it all depends on the IHI financial contribution requested by the highest ranked proposals.
Thank you. We have a second question from Daniel. What does consider the conduct of POC clinical studies mean? You expect to really conduct those studies with this limited budget in addition to all the other expected tasks, or it is sufficient to come up with the novel strategies on how to conduct this cost effectively?
Yes, so the topic text as it is written now stipulates that the applicants should consider conducting proof of concept clinical studies for these theranostic solutions.
Okay, thank you. We can wait for more questions. We have an addendum to Daniel's question. Yes, but what does consider mean?
What does consider mean? It means you will have within your proposal and within your consortium to discuss the possibility to conduct clinical trials as part of your proposal, because this is in the topic text, meaning that this is the document that will be used for the evaluation. And that's why it's something it's important really to consider within your consortium.
Thank you, Sama. Please, if you still have questions, this is your time. Otherwise, just please remember that the recording and the presentation slide of this webinar will be available on the IHI website just after the session. Then if there are no more questions, we will take a 5-minute break and we will continue with the pitching session. We have a last-minute question from Nicolas. Waiting for the final call test, could you please explain if you expect POC studies completed by the project end, or it will be fine to start enrollment of subject patients?
So yeah, if you are planning to have, I mean, if there are clinical studies involved in the proposals, it should be, of course, terminated within the lifetime of the project. And also referring to also the title of the topic, which is development and proof of principle of new clinical applications, meaning the clinical studies should be part of this proof of principle as well.
Thank you, Sama. Then we will resume at 2 35. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. So we are going to proceed now to the pitching session. So let me introduce the first pitcher of today. We have Ralf Hoffmann, Principal Scientist at Philips, who will talk about prostate cancer theranostic. So Ralf, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. I would like to present here this pitch on a project called ProCAT, or Prostate Cancer Theranostics. I'm a member of Philips Research, and yeah, obviously this is about topic number 2. So next slide, please. So let me give you some background about this project, about the challenges of a particular patient cohort, which is high risk localized or locally advanced prostate cancer patients. And the treatment of these patients today is quite challenging, as the risk of having disease relapse is 50 to 60% within 5 years after primary local treatment, which is in many cases surgery, but could also be radiation. But there's a high risk of relapsing for these patients due to the high risk of the disease, which makes the treatment challenging. And an approach that has been tested already in the past a lot, which we also do for other cancers, which is giving a few months of neoadjuvant, in this case anti-androgens, has been tested in multiple trials, but has initially failed to show efficiency to improve the outcome of these patients. But due to the development of so-called second generation anti-androgens or androgen receptor signaling inhibitors the last years, there is new hope now that these type of treatment in a neoadjuvant setting will lead to better outcomes, at least for those patients where the endpoint of minimal residual disease after this treatment on pathology, when the prostate is being resected, has been met. However, the first initial trials, these are small trials that are ongoing, demonstrate that most likely only a maximum of 30 to 40% of those patients treated with this regime will meet this endpoint of minimal residual disease. So to improve the situation, risk assessment is absolutely key. So the selection of responding patients is key, and also secondly, treatment alternatives for non-responding patients need to be developed in order to provide a solution for all patients. Therefore, the objective of this project are to provide a total theranostic solution to improve the outcomes for all patients with high-risk localized or locally advanced prostate cancer, to provide prospective clinical evidence that an IVD based on the diagnostics biomarkers selects patients that are responding to this treatment regime with high accuracy, and provide preclinical, potentially initial clinical evidence, depending on how far we get, that the targeting of the same biomarker may serve as a new treatment option for the non-responding patients. So next slide, please. So from a technical perspective, there are two major goals. The one is the implementation of an IVD based on existing biomarker that we have in the pipeline to select neoadjuvant ADT non-responders and prospectively test that IVD in a proof of concept clinical trials. So as was said in the introduction, we are aiming to initiate such a trial as a proof of concept to demonstrate this. And the second goal would be to perform preclinical proof of concept studies in vitro and in vivo to demonstrate the potential of a novel nanotechnology-based therapeutics based on the same biomarker as the diagnostics. So this would be a non-radioactive solution based on nanotechnology as the second goal, in order to provide these entire theranostic solutions to improve the outcome for all patients and not only for responding patients. Next slide, please. Yeah, from an economical impact, we believe that the molecular IVD can be launched, if successful, as a product for these high-risk patients to select them to respond to neoadjuvant anti-antigen. And mainly also in the second part of the proposal on the treatment solution, we expect patents and publications on this development of this novel solution as a combination of diagnostics and therapeutics. We expect also, due to the clinical trials, that there will be a duration necessary of 60 months in order to enroll patients and have at least a decent number of patients enrolled, and a budget at this moment to be discussed. Next slide. So from a partner perspective, we have been started discussions with multiple clinical partners. One possible partner is Karolinska University Hospital, who is interested in this project, but we're also discussing with some others. We are talking to pharma and IVD, as well as biotech, various partners who are interested, but nothing is completely fixed yet. We are particularly looking or searching for partners in the regulatory domain, which would concern IVD and pharma, in order to consider the impact on the regulatory side of such a solution. I believe that was my last slide. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ralf. So coming up, we have Ana Blanco Sanchez, who is Grant and Innovation Coordinator at Quibim, and she will talk about transforming imaging data into actionable predictions. Ana, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Ana Blanco, and I'm the Director of Grants and Innovation at Quibim. Quibim, we are a technological company which are based in Spain, but we have subsidiaries in the UK, US, Heidelberg, etc. So our focus is in the topic development of proof of principle of new clinical application of theranostic solution is transforming imaging data into actionable prediction. We work mainly with medical imaging. The challenges and objectives that we are focused on is from imaging data to precision medicine. Every day, 10 million imaging exams are performed globally. There are 10 million lives. These images and the diagnosis that doctors must make. But what if we could go much farther than the eye can see in with what we are doing? We extract automatically biomarkers from medical imaging, and also we use AI-powered imaging, artificial intelligence-based imaging models that could not only assist doctors and diagnosis now, but predict the future evolution of patient health. And also in our company, we design pioneering tools based on artificial intelligence that unlock the data hidden in medical imaging, not only to understand each patient, but also predict their outcomes. And also we want to make with Theranostics. Please, next slide. We develop our main activities related to Theranostics is the efficacy of the radiotracer, for example, in radiopharmaceuticals and also nanotechnologies regarding Theranostics. For example, we are developing AI tools that could characterize and quantify the efficacy of the radiotracers unique to the target in the PET-CT, for example, of different oncology diseases. For example, melanoma, cancer colon, head and neck cancer, non-small lung cancer. And also we evaluate the response of the radiotracer at lesion level. I mean, with this study, with this analysis of the union of the radiotracer to the target, we can stratify the patients that are responders and non-responders. So this is Theranostics and also can be for the diagnostics. So to the evaluation of the efficacy to measure in the medical imaging the efficacy of the union of the radiotracer to the target, we can know the efficacy of the treatment because we can predict the union of the potential drug to the target. So this is our main approach for the Theranostic, because for the medical imaging we can know and we can evaluate this efficacy of the radiotracer to include it in to the union of the radiotracer in the radiopharmaceutical or nanotechnology. Next slide. The expertise and resource that we offer. We work closely with physicians and also biopharma partners to identify new imaging biomarkers for outcomes prediction, which is our main focus. And also we have all the life cycle of a knowledge. For example, we work with a biopharma, with a population levels in life science and real world evidence project that we can also include in clinical studies. We are working with biopharma and also technological companies to know this theranostic radio tracer union with the target. And also we can also include all the cycle for regulatory perspective for the certification of the products. We have Quibim Precision products. For example, we are certified for FDA, CE mark, and also UKCA products such as Quibim Prostate. We have mainly focusing on prostate cancer. And also we can reach to the patient level with some providers. And also we are developing new tools for data management and analysis and marketed as a medical devices. Also, we cover all the aspects of the workflow, of the knowledge. We create the knowledge, and also we have the market and also the certified products that could reach the market. And the next slide. The expertise request. We are working closely with biopharma, physicians, researchers, work with Quibim to extract the latest insights in cancer and other diseases, such as mentioned melanoma, cancer colon, etc., and other diseases using medical imaging. So our main focus will be medical imaging, and we can evaluate this union, the efficacy of the union of the radio tracer in this theranostics approach. For example, we partner top-tier biopharma companies and academic institutions at the population level. Also, we'll go to Quibim Insights library. We also go to the imaging biomarkers panel with Quibim products. So we have also 35 products, and we deliver best-in-class software medical devices to go to the precision medicine at the patient level. And I think this is my last slide. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ana. Next speaker will be Efrain Araujo Perini, R&D project manager at IBA. His speech will be about broadening EU cancer patient access to the new theranostic solutions, proof of concept on securing EU onshore industrial and reliable supply of 211 astatine. Please, Efrain, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I don't see the slides, please. Yes, thank you very much. So, like you mentioned, our goal here is broadening EU cancer patients' access to new theranostic solutions by proposing a proof of concept on securing European Union onshore industrial and reliable supply of astatine. We call this project TATI for EU. So, next slide, please. Yeah, so what we want to achieve in this goal is aligned with the Samira Action Plan goals, and basically to secure the domestic supply of life-saving radioisotopes for the European Union as a long-term, sustainable, and resilient onshore radioisotope supply, and enhance the safety and security of those medical applications such as dosimetry, waste, and environmental care as well. Next slide, please. The technical challenge and the main activities that we need to tackle and achieve with this project for enabling astatine access the European Union are shown in this mind map, such as corresponding infrastructure for medical isotopes production and enabling, of course, in clinical grade radioisotopes. And here also in this mind map, I put it in all the red boxes where we need our partners as well. So we are looking for partners for the corresponding infrastructure, for training and education, CDMO activities, in vitro, in vivo trials, proof of concept clinical trials, activity substance master file, and also the cyclotron technology readiness will be provided by IBA. However, we still need partners for the chemistry, for example, for targets preparation, for radiochemistry purification, also for the labeling. And in labeling, for example, we also see a great opportunity for our partners with academia. We also are looking for partners for QC activities, quality assurance, regulatory aspects. Just a matter of clarification, for example, for the supply chain in Europe with are planning, for example, to provide the radioisotope ready for labeling, the astatine ready for labeling, the radiopharmaceutical ready for injection, and also the activated hot target, which could enable us to ship it to longer distance. Next slide, please. Yes, so the expected results and impacts for this project we see as providing the technology readiness for astatine production cyclotron based. We will be able to enable a proof of concept which will be feasible, replicable, and marketable technology for astatine production. This proof of concept would lead to a reliable and industrial scale-up of production of astatine supply to secure the supply within the European Union. This would make astatine accessible and affordable, which would foster the resources training and education for Theranostics and target alpha therapy. This would lead to normatization and regulatory aspects such as dosimetry, pharmacopeia, etc., which would enable new astatine drugs development and also speed up market authorizations, which would promote and expand European patients' access to the clinical benefits of astatines. This would promote a circle with a direct and indirect impact and social economic. Next, please. Yes, with direct and indirect social impacts, for example, in Sustainable Development Goals for the 2030 United Nations Agenda. Which, for example, we see as a direct impact for industry, innovations and infrastructure, economic growth, private education, and good health and well-being for all. Next, please. Last but not least, we also see IHI as a great platform for the consortium, which allow us to partnership for the goals with all the complementary expertise that we need in a trustworthy environment. Next, please. The expertise and resources we are offering this project, IBA, will bring a cutting-edge technology readiness for alpha technology, alpha isotopes production technology, cyclotron-based, optimized for astatine production, of course. And together with this, IBA is a worldwide tech industry key player for more than 37 years and 350 plus cyclotrons installed in 5 continents. On top of that, we are bringing 6.5 million euros in-kind contributions. Next, please. The expertise we requested that I already showed in our mind map are such as chemistry and radiochemistry industry, pharma companies, healthcare companies, CDMO, CRO, academia and research institute, industry and associations, patient and medical associations as well, SMEs, startups and tech companies, regulatory support as well. And this leads me to my last slide. This is my last one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Efrain. So we are moving to the last picture of today. We have Aureli Soria-Frisch, Director of Neuroscience Business Unit at Starlab Barcelona, will pitch about Neurotechnology as a Service, NTXaaS. Please, Aureli, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. You are placing my slides? Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Aureli Soria-Frisch. I'm the Director of the Neuroscience Business Unit at Starlab. Next slide, please. As you may know, brain health needs a new approach. So brain health in general, it's characterized by a lack of modern decision tools, both for mental health and neurological diseases. As a consequence, we have large misdiagnosis rates in this domain. And this leads to the fact that CNS drug development is one of the highest risk business areas in the pharmaceutical sector. We'd like to provide a solution to this by providing so-called neurotechnology as a service. Next slide. Neurotechnology as a service is a service provision where we include the latest hardware for EEG acquisition. EEG is a cost-effective brain monitoring modality that we offer with devices for acquiring 8, 20, and 32 channels of EEG. Besides this, our devices are able also to electrically stimulate the cortex. One interesting capability of the devices is to use so-called dry electrodes, both completely dry and also so-called solid gel electrodes, which are comfortable for the end users and very easy to use. This is for the EEG acquisition. Next slide. And together with the hardware, we are offering a machine learning platform for EEG, which has been developed over the last 10 years. That can be used for drug development, so to measure drug engagement or to do patient stratification in drug studies. The Neurotechnology as a service not only includes the hardware and the machine learning platform, but also allows and facilitates the preparation of suitable protocols, as well as all the process of data collection, which can be done in a very easy way. Next slide. I'm showing here a particular use case in which you can use neurotechnology as a service, for instance, for Parkinson's disease stratification. In this particular disease, as you may know, patients are very heterogeneous with respect to the time from disease, while the drug interventions are expected to work better in those that are at an early stage of the neurodegeneration. So what we propose is basically an EEG acquisition that takes 15 minutes and that uploads the data to our cloud AI engine, and that stratifies your patients, selecting the 60% of patients that are at the early stage in the neurodegenerative disease. And we expect this to be successfully used for patient selection in clinical trials, not only of Parkinson's disease, but of other diseases. Next slide, please. So actually, we are being involved in a drug response study for Down syndrome, as well as other biomarkers that are in our portfolio, for instance, for emotional response characterization that can be used in depression studies, or also for neurodevelopment characterization that we have successfully used in ADHD and autism drug development. So Starlab is looking for a building consortium. So basically, we would like to add the neurotechnology as a service provision into a consortium that is developing any drugs for mental health or neurological disorders. And we would be very happy if you contact us at info@starlab.es. And I would like to thank you for your attention, and I'm very happy to receive your invitation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aureli, and let me thank you all the pitchers today for your collaboration and for presenting these interesting ideas. So we would like to thank everyone for attending this webinar. Please remember that the recording and the presentation slides will be available on IHI website in a few hours, so you can access them whenever you want. Please remember to use B2Match platform as much as you need. You will find all the information on the platform. You can create partnership. You can find all the information about these pitches that have been presented today, and with that, I will wish you a very pleasant end of the day. Bye.